It's Sunday's The Living Tombstone FNAF reviews, which means today I got to talk about Die in a Fire. Quite the name for me to be so cheery. Anyways, strap in, because I'm going to try to summarize my thoughts as quickly as possible, which you'll see is difficult because this song is excruciatingly time-consuming to analyze. First of all, I have to say that the vocal performance on this song is incredibly fascinating, because the performance is one of the best ones of the entire catalog. It's full of energy and emotion, where Io Monte's performance really brings that tone of seething hatred while still sounding very harmonic in her delivery in every line, which absolutely fits with the lyrical content of the song. Continuing on with the lyrics, they feel like they've aged well with all the new lore that's been revealed later in the story. They aren't overcomplicated and don't draw too many assumptions for future lore tidbits, which was a reoccurring issue in the previous two songs, so I'm happy that they improved upon it. I love how in the second chorus you have a repetition of "I hope you die in a fire," because it feels so raw in its delivery the second time around, and like a complete doubling down on the identity of the song and its absolute hatred. The intro and outro of this song also feel very well executed. I personally would cut the last "I hope you die in a fire," but otherwise I have no complaints about these sections. The outro especially sounds great. Now I do have a bit of complaints about the clashing identity within the song, and these issues are really hard to summarize, so you're gonna have to lock in because I don't know how to phrase this simply. First off, the delivery of the lyrics is absolutely amazing, but in everything except the pre-drop, they feel extremely disconnected from the instrumental. Both in a sense because the lyrics are not on pace with the drums, but also because her delivery feels very unconventional with the dubstep energy released in the drop. These things aren't fundamentally an issue, but for this specific song, it makes the tone incredibly hard to identify. Secondly, the entire energy of this song is very clashing, where the build-ups for the drops sound very dramatic and tense with that static bass line and syncopated repeating piano chords. Meanwhile, the drop is split into two halves, where the first half is kind of neutral in the mood it's trying to convey, just feeling like a release from the build-up of the intro. Thereafter, the second half of the drop is very energetic and upbeat, with an instrumental section. The second half feels extremely disconnected from the intro, which isn't really an issue when you have the first half of the drop to transition these two energies, but when the second half of the drop goes instantly back to the more dramatic tension of the build-up for the second drop, with no change outside of added percussion, the atmosphere becomes very clashing. The issues within this song aren't easy to explain, and the clashing energies are something that makes this song be the most experimental song of the Living Tombstone FNAF catalog in my opinion. For me to be even able to explain one of the flaws of this song, I have to explain how the energy of the song feels like it works in some sections but is extremely clashing in other sections. The mixing on this song also makes it very hard to analyze the instrumental choices, as every instrument is kind of layered over every other instrument, which sounds good, makes it a pain in the ass to dissect the instruments. In conclusion, this song is a weird mixed bag, which makes it really hard for me to give a short analysis and also give a solid ranking on, so I know that I'm not doing it a great service with this analysis, but maybe one day I'll make a long form video on all the FNAF songs and then I'll be able to go further in depth with specifically this FNAF song and give it a more delicate review. But until then, if I was to give it a ranking, I'd put it in B tier, solidly above the first FNAF song but not too high considering its flaws. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow with the channel member voted subject.